Hey, choose from fast, affordable, non-stop flights to your favorite vacation spots. All from an airport that's relaxed and hassle-free. It's never been easier to get off the bench and enjoy an adventure with the whole family. Visit GoFlyLNK.com and book your trip today. Let's go.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 3.9% financing for 66 months plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
If unwanted hair is putting you in a prickly situation, give laser hair removal a try. Milan Laser Hair Removal delivers smooth, hair-free skin with permanent results for men and women of all skin tones. So there's no more unwanted stubble, razor burn, or ingrown hairs. Visit any of Milan Laser's 7 Nebraska locations to get 1 free treatment. Ready to never shave again? Call 833-NO-RAZOR or visit MilanLaser.com to book your free treatment and consultation. That's MilanLaser.com.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. It's a Monday edition of Sports Highly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Saturday was a big scrimmage day for the Huskers. Afterwards, Rhule met with the media, which allows us to give you a practice report.
The 1890 Initiative presents the Nebraska Football Practice Report.
We're talking about practice.
Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com.
So the head coach met with the media after the long scrimmage, which then kind of morphed into the Boneyard Bash, which is students are allowed to come watch some practice. And by that point in time, they got to see some of the backups get out there and play. But here's what the coach asked. What'd you see out there today?
I thought it was a lot of fun. First of all, it was really hot, which was great. We were able to get a bunch of plays with the young guys at the end, during the Boneyard Bash. Had the band out there, had a bunch of students there. Thought we played really strong on defense again. I think, guys are really settling into the defense. So the offense put together some nice drives, had some some of the issues we had last week in terms of procedure and clock, those all went away. So I thought it was a step in the right direction, definitely a step in the right direction. So we have to watch the tape and see exactly, who performed well. We had 1 or 2 players that put the ball on the ground a couple times on offense. I'm not going to indict everyone for that, but, we had a guy, really 2 guys that has to protect the ball better. But, I think our defense is definitely being physical and hitting. So still some work to do in the kicking game, still some work to do on offense and on defense, but I like where we're at.
Well, a little bit, I guess, what you expect to continue to make progress, and we'll see if they continue to make progress on Thursday. But little surprised about the kicking game being still shaky at this point.
He said later, and I'm not sure if I've got this clip or not, but that Tristan kicked with the ones, but he did say he missed a kick. He said Timmy had been with the ones, and so he said by Thursday we'll probably pick who we're going to go with in the opener. So,
wow.
There you go.
I mean, you would hope that it was because neither one of them are missing, not that they're missing, right?
But they're missing.
The fact that the battle is still open, you would hope that, and that's what Ed Foley said early, is that you would hope that one of them would take it and run with it, and it doesn't sound like that's happened yet.
So he, again, had some pretty good praise for the defense in that clip. He was asked more, what is impressing you about your defense at this point?
Yeah, I just think they run and hit, they run and tackle really well. They were playing the run game well and creating some negative plays. As I said, they knocked the ball out a couple times. They're really physical. So, I'd say that's their strength. Just kind of that flocking of the ball and striking people. They're doing that at a high level.
Well, that's good to hear.
Sure is. With some of those veteran linebackers like Reimer and Henrich and the way Bullock seems to be playing, you would think that that's where you're going to create a lot of turnovers. With those guys getting in there and ripping a ball out. So I would think that could be something. But as a coach, and when you're doing an inter-squad scrimmage, anytime a defender's ripping the ball out, he's taking away from your offense. You don't like that. So it's kind of one of those, like the spring game. Good thing is a bad thing for the other side of the football.
Yeah, and it just, again, going back to the defense being ahead, when you have guys like Luke Reimer, Nick Henrich, Isaac Gifford, Ty Robinson, like they've been through this scrimmage thing a time or two, and they know how to manage it, how to handle it. And I just, they are not going to have those nerves that maybe some of those, even a guy like Billy Kemp, like maybe he was nervous his first time kind of running out there with Nebraska. It's just you've got so many new pieces on the offensive side of the ball where, yes, you have some new pieces on the defensive side of the ball, but you have a lot of guys that have played a lot of football that have been through this a time or two, even if it is with a new coaching staff. They understand how to perform when those lights come on because they've done it so many years now.
Well, speaking of the offense, the newcomers, obviously Sims is a newcomer at quarterback for the Huskers. How about how has he played in camp and how's he done in some of these scrimmages? Here's the coach talking about Jeff Sims.
He just taking great care of the ball. I think when the Big Ten Network came, they talked about him, being the highest in college football in terms of returning turnovers. I wouldn't have ever suspected that because just being around him. So I went back and watched them. There was a lot of times you would say they were probably not his fault. He was getting hit, or someone got hit and dropped the ball. I think Jeff's taking great care of the ball. It's a fine line, right? Like, we talk about the toxic battle here. It's an old Brian Billick stat. We want to win the turnover battle, but also win the explosive play battle. So we can go out there and go into a shell and, not turn the ball over ever, but go 3 and out. It's the same thing, right? So we want to be explosive, and I think Jeff is learning that line of when to be explosive, when not, when to take a chance and when not to. So we don't want to play scared. That's the biggest thing for this group is they can't play scared. So, but I think he's done a really nice job, Steve. I think he's playing really good football, and there's still a lot to learn. I know we're playing on 8/31, but there's a lot of games after that, and so we're just trying to get better and better and better and better and better every day. So I think we'll see him play really good football this year.
I listened to this press conference, and that to me was the most fascinating answer because it is. You do think about, well, you cannot play against this defense like you don't want to turn the ball over because you have to be aggressive, and this defense knows you better than most defenses that you're going to face. And so it's that. Hey, we can't just be conservative to not turn the ball over. We've got to be aggressive and try to make things happen and implement an offense. And so, you can't get caught up in, there's a lot of turnovers. And then also, you're not just preparing for this one game. You're preparing for an entire season. And so I took a lot away. I thought that to me was the sound bite that really stuck out to me throughout that whole press conference.
You got to learn, and Jeff, you would think that he's played so much college football that he kind of gets this. You got to pick your spots. If you're in the red zone, you maybe don't force it as much because you're in the points range, where maybe you take more risks when you're at midfield or whatever, and you're trying to get down to the red zone, but you cannot turn the ball over in the red zone. But you also have to try to make plays in the red zone. You're not going to punch it in for 7 points. So it is a balancing act on what to do there. One true freshman that has really caught the coach's eyes is Cam Lenhart. Coach called him an old soul, mature beyond his years, and that maybe by going to a prep school, he went to IMG Academy to finish up his prep days, that maybe helped prepare him for college football. Here's the coach.
Well, I think Cam comes from a great family, first of all. So I know he was certainly raised to a certain, with standards. Man, I think going away, there's a level of independence. I see that with my own son right now. He's a senior, and he's sent me a picture yesterday of him doing laundry. Like, mom ain't doing it. I told him, don't ask your grandmother to do it, man. So he's doing it. So there's a level of independence that comes along with that. And then I think the people at IMG do a tremendous job with their sports psychology and all those different things. He gets here, he's talking about neutrality and all these high-end things that, so he's been trained. But I certainly don't want to take anything away from his family because I think he comes from a great family.
I told you that after the spring game, I chatted with him. I did an interview with him and was just talking with him before I started recording. I was blown away. He does not talk like a freshman, and he obviously doesn't approach the game like a freshman, and he didn't come in here thinking, I'm going to make excuses like a freshman. He wanted to earn his playing time, and so he's just got such a mindset that I think when you come in as a freshman and you've been so dominant in high school about it's a hard adjustment, but I feel like for him, he's already got that mindset of, okay, if I make this mistake today, how do I get better for it tomorrow? And it just kind of sometimes I feel like takes some time to really grasp that, because for so long you just dominated, right? And so I think he's just got such a mature mentality, and I mean I was absolutely blown away by him and how he communicated what he saw in games back in the spring. So it's probably only even gotten better since then. I can't wait to chat with him again. I haven't talked to him since the spring.
Apparently he and Blaze Gunnarsson are battling out to be a starter. They're both going to play because they're going to rotate guys through, but that's the battle right now, is Cam Lenhart and Blaze Gunnarsson to be one of those 3 starters up front for the Huskers. But boy, what a bright, bright future that young man has for the Huskers. We have talked a lot in the last couple of years about Brett Haskell, who is the team and the athletic department's main psychologist, and she has been an integral part of Matt Rhule's program since he got here. He really has weaved her in to the program in so many different ways. He got asked to expound on that on Saturday after the scrimmage.
Dr. Haskell's as important to me as Chris Peduzzi, the head athletic trainer, Corey Campbell. She's as important to me as the offensive and defensive coordinators. You know, it's so simple. Like, you know, we sometimes have a way of you know, looking at mental health and sports performance, and, you know, kind of over here. But I'll say to guys sometimes, like, guys, if you have a tight hamstring, do you go see the trainer? They're like, yeah. I'm like, you break your leg, do you see the doctor? Yeah. Well, if you're feeling a little bit, you know, depressed or anxious or nervous, why would you not go see Dr. Haskell? I do. So, and then if you're feeling great, then she helps keep you in that zone and teach you how to get the flow and teach you how. So, you know, I think we as coaches have studied a lot about cognitive load and, you know, this generation and the impact of phones on their, you know, their brains and their ability to concentrate and attention and focus control. And really, to answer your question, all I really want is guys to be able to go from, like, their thinking brain, getting the call, knowing the situation, and then shutting that brain off, focusing in and just reacting. And so she's teaching them how to do that. So she both handles the whole spectrum of mental health, but also kind of sports performance, which obviously is involved in that. And she's doing it at a high level. And she's doing it so we have common language, if that makes sense. So now, you know, in the offensive line room, Donnie can be talking about breathing, or, you know, we have things that we do football-wise, like cycle of a snap. You know, hey, here's what we want you to do from the end of one snap to the beginning of the next. We write them all the way out for the guys. So we're just integrating her into it. So she's using our language and we're using her language. So I think we're, you know, hopefully on the cutting edge of what we're doing.
Back in May, during Mental Health Awareness Month, we sat down with Dr. Haskell and Coach Rhule together, and it was absolutely fascinating to hear both of them just talk about the importance and how they've worked well together. And Coach Rhule talked about how important it was that she comes out to practice. It's not just, hey, we go knock on her door and go sit in her office. I mean, she and her staff, I mean, and the sports psychology department here is as big, if not bigger, than most places in all of college athletics. The emphasis that's placed on that here is bigger and better than most places in college athletics. But they are embedded with the team, so they understand. And so that common language there that he just referred to is a lot of it, because she understands, because she's out there in the grinds of all of it. But yeah, if you go back and listen to it, it's on our platform. But you could just tell how important it is to him and the staff, and they've all embrace that part of it and how important it is. And I think they did it before, but then I think when they got to the NFL and realized how important it is there and how important it is to players at that level too, it also, I think, probably even grew even more, that desire to really implement that here.
Mentioned that he said, yep, we're going to have a depth chart. One of the positions he was asked about is running back, where he said Gabe Ervin is clearly the number one back for the Huskers. And so he got pressed a little bit by saying, what have you seen from Gabe, and why has he clearly won that battle?
You know, I didn't see him before, so I can't say. You know, I just, from the day I got here, I was like, wow, that's what they're supposed to look like. You know what I mean? Like, he's big, he's powerful. You know, he can run behind his pads. He can run inside zone, outside zone, power counter, anything you want to run duo. He's good in protection. He's consistently still trying to work on his hands. His hands are the number one thing that keeps him from being on the field all 3 downs. But he can catch. He just has to, you know, that's what he's working on. But, you know, it's very rarely that you have a guy that's, you know, 225 pounds and also runs 4.4, you know what I mean, and has lateral movement. So, you know, I know he started as a freshman. I know he had that injury. But I can't imagine many better than that kid. So I've been impressed with him since the day we got here.
I remember talking to Gabe going into last year, and he talked about, I feel great, I feel healthy, but I don't think he really was, and I don't think he knew it at the time until he got through this season and really focused on the things he needed to focus on to stay healthy, because he got banged up again last year and missed a few games and was on the sideline. And so I think the approach that he's taken to be able to actually get right, I even think from what he told me last year to what it is now, it's completely night and day. And then also it takes a year to get back into game shape. He's going to still need to play a few more games to really probably feel completely 100%, because you can go game mode in practice, but it's still just different than a game. So I still think it'll probably take him even a couple more games at where he's at now to really feel like he's at 100%.
They put out a clip over the weekend of him just absolutely trucking Isaac Gifford.
I mean, he's massive.
He's so big.
He's huge.
Yeah.
And also that he also talked to me about that in the spring, about putting on the right weight and where he needed to be able to keep his body healthy, because he had been battling some things back in high school. And so I think he's finally figured that out. I think this staff has really helped him through that. And so I am really excited to see a full-go Gabe Ervin come this football season.
Looking forward to it. There you go. A lot of good stuff from Coach after Saturday's scrimmage. No practice Sunday or today. First day of school. They wanted to make sure the kids took care of that part of it. They'll be back at it tomorrow. We will hear from Marcus Satterfield tomorrow night on a practice report. Also, a reminder that our first football radio show is tomorrow. The head coach will be here this hour tomorrow night. So we're going to do texts only for the head coach. If you want to fire off some texts, have them ready to go when the show begins. We'll get those over to Coach during the program tomorrow night. Looking forward, though, to spending 60 minutes with him tomorrow night. Hey, folks, right now, enjoy great value on outdoor power equipment from Steel, from gas-powered blowers, chainsaws, and more, to high-performance pressure washers built to tackle the dirtiest jobs. Find yours at STIHLdealers.com, available at participating dealers. All right, phone lines, text lines wide open for you. 402-413-2400. We're back with more of the show next.
Our planet, it's hungry. Blessed with millions of acres in this great nation, our farmers work tirelessly to feed the planet through seasons of uncertainty and seasons of growth. It's a tough business to do alone. As owners of Central Valley Ag, it's together that we move forward. There's room at the table. Find your seat at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
If unwanted hair is putting you in a prickly situation, give laser hair removal a try. Milan Laser Hair Removal delivers smooth, hair-free skin with permanent results for men and women of all skin tones. So there's no more unwanted stubble, razor burn, or ingrown hairs. Visit any of Milan Laser's 7 Nebraska locations to get 1 free treatment. Ready to never shave again? Call 833-NO-RAZOR or visit MilanLaser.com to book your free treatment and consultation. That's MilanLaser.com.
Hi, this is Jim Baldonado with the Home Agency. Just like our support and enthusiasm for Husker athletics, our multi-line insurance agencies are ready and eager to help you with your insurance needs. Don't wait for disaster to test your insurance coverage. Get ahead of the game and let our agents provide you with the peace of mind knowing that your needs will be met. For more information, call home, the home agency, that is at 1-800-245-4241. That's 1-800-245-4241. Go Big Red.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 3.9% financing for 66 months plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
Sports Alley Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you were looking for with Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Monday night. Matt and Raymond on our text line said, I think the biggest thing that I'm looking for is consistency, not beating ourselves with stupid mistakes, players keeping focus and on assignment, almost to the point of being methodical. Might be boring, but it should help us. Help them work together as a team. I think that's exactly Matt Rhule's formula. Is that is exactly what he wants.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I think that's what you saw in his Baylor teams, and just it's that mentality too that he's so brilliant, and the staff is so brilliant of how they implement certain things that they're doing along the way, but making sure that some of the mistakes that you make, you don't remake them, and just that being more disciplined, and the decision making, all that kind of stuff goes into the decisions and how you are consistent on a football field. So I think it's just, yes, that's absolutely, I think the approach that him and his staff are trying to implement, and what they've done in the past, that's found success for sure.
Head to the phones, up to West Point. Husker Dan, you're up next on Sports Honda. Good evening. Dan, you with us?
Ooh.
Hi, Dan. Go ahead. Yep, I'm going to put him back on hold. Remember, we got an issue getting Dan on the air with us. Hang with us, Dan. We'll see if we can get you back on the air with us here. You know, I was thinking about this today. 1 year ago today, we were flying to Ireland.
Wow. That's unbelievable. It really does feel like yesterday, but then a lot's happened since then. But it doesn't seem like it was that long ago that we were in Ireland.
How about that?
I was thinking about when we were doing those shows at Buskers and went out and talked to all the Irish folk. And, yeah, it's crazy. It just flies by.
Notre Dame Navy is who you will be watching from Ireland this Saturday. There are a handful of games this Saturday in college football. It is week 0. So Saturday, you get a little taste of some college football. The full-blown thing is next week. Obviously, the Huskers get the jump on the weekend with that Thursday night game in Minneapolis. Folks, buckle up, put the phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. 402-413-2400, the number to be a part of the program with a call or a text. We're back to wrap up Hour 1 next.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 3.9% financing for 66 months plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Beardmore Subaru celebrates Nebraska volleyball again this season. 5 national championships, 47 All-Americans, and a home sellout streak dating back to 2001. The longest streak for any women's sport in NCAA history. Beardmore Subaru has been a proud supporter of Husker volleyball for more than 10 years. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the new Subaru Outback Wilderness, loaded with off-road ready upgrades, and the new Solterra, Subaru's first ever all-electric and all-wheel drive vehicle. Go Big Red.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 7 or 17 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 7 or 17 months at your nearest FNBO location with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. So stop on by and give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
It's on our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. The chat room has been dying to hear our thoughts about the Jim Harbaugh news today. Remember, it came out right around media days in Indianapolis that he was going to be suspended for 4 games. Michigan's appealed that ruling, and now Michigan is going to self-impose a 3-game suspension on their head coach, so he will miss their 3 non-conference games. and that would not cause him to miss any league contests, conveniently, to come back. So they're trying to preempt what the NCAA might do. I don't know if it'll work or not, but it looks like he will not coach their first 3 games.
Sometimes you see that to try to head off any kind of penalty that might come from the NCAA, but if the NCAA is mad enough already, it might not do any good.
And it doesn't sound like Michigan's been very cooperative.
No. And that's why he's in this boat in the first place.
Correct.
Because had he just been open and honest, from what I've read, the actual punishment wouldn't have been as bad. It would just been a little slap on the wrist. But the reason why it got to this point is because he was not cooperative from the start.
Right. So regardless, unless the NCAA between now and late September makes a move, he will be coaching here when they come the last Saturday in September. That's their 5th game of the year. But it looks like he'll miss the first 3 for them. A couple of quarterback notes from around the league. Ohio State's had a quarterback battle between Kyle McCord and Devin Brown. Ryan Day had a press conference today, said he is still not decided on who their starting quarterback will be. Both have had, by all accounts, a pretty good camp, so that tells me they have 2 really good quarterbacks for the Buckeyes. There's a shock. Illinois has named Luke Altmaier, the Ole Miss transfer, as their new quarterback, so he left Coach Kiffin's squad in Oxford, transferred to Champaign. He apparently has been really good for the Illini. And our old pal, Casey Thompson, named today as the starter at FAU. Not surprised by that at all. I wish Casey good luck and hope he has a great year.
Me too. I do too. I think everybody around here does too. And I think he hopes the best for the Huskers too. He left on a really solid note. And I've said this a lot of times on this program, but he's a big fan of Jeff Sims and thought he's a great teammate and hopes the best for him. So I know that he'll be rooting for the Huskers from afar.
Not sure who FAU opens with, but I'll wish Casey good luck. Just like I did a year ago with Adrian.
Yeah.
I mean, I had no ill feelings toward Adrian and wished him well, and he ended up having a pretty good year, although he battled a lot of injuries in Manhattan for K-State. But Casey is reunited with Tom Herman, who was the coach at Texas when Casey was coming out of high school. So he played for Coach Herman for a while before they made a coaching change in Austin. Now Coach Herman is leading the FAU program, and so now he's down there and has won the job for Florida Atlantic. All right, next hour, we're going to hear from DeShon Singleton. You caught up with him late last week. He's had a good camp. I'm not sure if he's going to start, but he's going to play a lot, I think.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of defensive backs. And, you know, when I get asked about who's going to start, I don't really – that's the one position that I just don't think it matters much, because I think you're going to see a heavy dose of a lot of them. I think they're going to run in and out. I think if guys aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, then they'll put somebody else in, and I don't think they're going to be hesitant to rotate a lot of guys in and out at defensive back. So, but he's definitely a guy that has been playing a lot right now back there at safety. And yeah, I had a great conversation with him, so looking forward for you guys to hear that.
And we'll have a snippet of Jessica's new podcast about Husker volleyball. She's going to rotate her way each week through the assistant coaches. This week, it's Kelly Hunter. We will play you a part of that. Is it out? Is the whole podcast out yet?
Yes, it is out.
Posted. Okay. So we'll hear from Kelly coming up in an hour or two. Sounds like Saturday went great. Their fan day went fantastic earlier in the day. And then they put on a heck of a show in front of 8,000 fans for the red-white scrimmage. It went 4 sets. Some really tight sets in there, some good situational things for them to work through. So volleyball ready to crank it up. The first John Cook show will be coming your way on Thursday night here on the network. We got a busy couple days. Matt Rhule tomorrow, Trev Alberts Wednesday, John Cook Thursday. I'm not sure it gets much better than that.
I think a lot of the football staff went out to the volleyball, the red-white scrimmage. Ed Foley put out a picture and said, "This is beyond cool." I think they're going to be pretty excited about going. They've been out to soccer. I think they went out there on Sunday as well. So
soccer got a nice win.
They
beat Baylor
did.
2-1.
So off to a decent start.
Yeah. They head to the West Coast. They're playing 2 matches later this week out on the West Coast. They'll play on Thursday and then again on Sunday out on the West Coast. We wish them good luck as they travel out there. Hopefully that Hurricane Hillary is kicked on the way through and they get some dry conditions out there for that. All right, 1 hour in the books. We're back with hour 2 coming up next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day-by-day donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For new Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip? Works for me.
New Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Good evening. I'm Cole Hartman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Over the weekend, Nebraska football head coach Matt Rhule met with the media to discuss the team's final 10 days before the season opener with Minnesota on 8/31. The head coach was asked about an official depth chart being released in the near future. Listen in.
I've never been asked about depth charts more in my life. Yeah, we'll put out a depth chart. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it'll be a real one too. So, but I do want to say that a couple people have asked me that, and the players have asked me that. But we really, in my mind, there's sort of a line, that we're going to play the guys that we think are above the line, and we're trying to get other guys above the line. So, there might be a guy who's a starter. I couldn't tell you, who's the starter, Cam Lenhart or Blaze Gunderson. The answer is yes. They're both starters. You know what I mean? So, and I think Tony's doing a nice job of playing with some different packages. So, we have a lot of guys who can play for us. But yeah, we'll do that. When do we do that? Like game week, right? So we'll do it going into game week.
News broke earlier today regarding the suspension that has loomed over Michigan head football coach Jim Harbaugh after an investigation was launched by the NCAA for violations made by Michigan's staff in 2021. The NCAA alleges that Harbaugh lied to investigators during an initial meeting, which constitutes as a separate Level 1 violation. After several weeks of seeking resolution, Coach Harbaugh and the U of M have decided to impose a self-served suspension for the first 3 games of the 2023 season. With his 3-game suspension, Harbaugh will miss the season opener against East Carolina, UNLV in Week 2, and Bowling Green in Week 3, all at home. The Wolverines are scheduled to visit Lincoln in Week 5. As this was a suspension self-imposed by Michigan, the NCAA investigation is still ongoing and could potentially carry more disciplinary action in the future. And today in Lincoln, the athletic department announced that the Nebraska men's basketball season tickets are now on sale for the 2023-24 season. The team is slated to play 20 games at PBA, which features 10 games against teams that have reached the postseason a year ago. A large variety of seating is available to the public, and in addition, student season tickets for UNL students are also available. Fans can purchase 2023-24 season tickets by visiting huskers.com/tickets or by calling the Nebraska Athletic Ticket Office at 800-BIG-RED during business hours. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is coming up next.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
2 to the near side, 1 to the far side. Turn, give it off to Grant. He picks his way inside the 45, bounces to the outside, 40, 35, 30, foot race now, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Snap back to Van Treese, play actions. Gets hit as he throws, pass headed down the end zone. Buford goes up and makes the interception at the 1-yard line. Marquise Buford's second pick of the game, and it was created by some pressure on the quarterback, Van Treese.
Red, fed left, Lindsay gets a throw. They stayed with it, and Krause muscles it through a double Buckeye block. Becca Williams, Spring Lake, Texas, serves back right. Nice pass, quick attack. Becca, Alec, Big Red, kaboom!
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And here we are, Monday night. Full 2-hour show tonight. It's our only full 2 kind of open show of the week. We have Matt Rhule in tomorrow night, our first football show. We have Trev Alberts, his first athletic director show on Wednesday, and our first volleyball show with John Cook on Thursday. And then Friday, no show. We've got Husker Volleyball taking on Utah State, opening game of the season for the Cornhuskers. So this is our only 2-hour show of Jessica and I for the week. Kind of exciting time of year. It's here. Games are going, cranking up. Love it. Love this time of year. All right, we're going to hear from DeShon Singleton, Husker defensive back, here in just a couple of minutes. Later in the hour, Kelly Hunter, former 2-time national champion volleyball setter, now an assistant coach for John Cook, part of Jessica's new podcast that is just starting up this year as it relates to Husker volleyball. So that's what we have coming up here in hour number 2. And if you want to be a part of the program, 402-413-2400 to fire off a text to us, you can certainly do that. Sam in Omaha wanted to say that former Husker Tristan Gebbia is the third-string quarterback at Ohio State. That's exactly right. And hard to believe that Tristan has any eligibility left because he was here a year before Adrian was here. And now he's still playing college football. That just blows my mind. A couple people in the chat room wanted to know if we've heard anything on Eric Gilbert. Nothing.
It's unbelievable.
Why not? Why haven't we heard?
They're too busy worried about Jim Harbaugh, I guess. The NCAA. It's disappointing because...
Horrible for the kid, too.
Yeah, and, the NCAA just continues to paint such a bad picture on themselves because of this. They want to be vocal about certain things, but then they drag their feet about certain things, and I just don't know if they have the right organization, but just to leave people in limbo. You can't tell me that why do they not have the staff in place to be able to make speedy decisions on these kinds of things?
Crazy to me. They came out with a couple of rulings with this very similar topic. North Carolina player, and I can't remember the other school the other player was, but that was like 3 weeks ago. And I thought, well, okay, Gilbert's is going to be next. And then here we are, 9 days out from the opener, and still no verdict on his eligibility for the upcoming season. Well, we know DeShon Singleton is eligible and ready to play some football for the Huskers, and you had a chance to catch up with him last week.
Yeah, I chatted with him on a Friday. So here is that conversation. About 3 weeks into this thing, how you feeling?
I feel great about it. I feel more confident the season coming, and I'm just excited for 8/31.
How has this week been? Because, this is always, we hear this is the toughest week of camp, getting through this week. So how have you guys grinded through this week?
Man, it's just a grind. You wake up every day, and you got to come out and put your best foot forward. It doesn't matter how hard how bad your body hurt. The best players, they come out and they compete every day, no matter how they feel. Because, life is all about, you got to go out there and make no decisions. You wake up and you finna practice hard, everything you have.
That day-by-day mentality, too, is that something that, how do you embrace that? And how do you, because it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to do it. And so just making sure that every single day you're taking care of business. What goes into that?
Going into that was my journey here. So it's I had that mindset since high school, and I feel like with me going through adversity through that whole time, you just got to take it one day at a time. I feel like, and when Rhule came, he preached the same word, and I already knew it. So it just basically just molded into me my whole life. So.
How do you feel going into this season? It seems like they're expecting you to play a much bigger role, and I know you were big key on special teams last year, but how do you feel confident-wise and what they want you to do in this defense?
I feel very confident. I feel like the coaches trust me and the things that I do, and that gives me even more confidence because you have people that trust you and believe in you, and I feel like that's very great for me. It makes me feel great, and I just... I want to go out there and make an impact.
How do you like this defense?
I love the defense. Everybody flying to the ball is very exciting, and it's just you having fun. It feel like you're playing bitty football again, park football, and you just don't know what you're doing. You run into the football, and it's just fun. But we know what we're doing out there now. But it's just fun though.
Yeah, because I've heard Coach White say something. You can't be perfect, but he wants you to make those plays and fight football, and not necessarily worry about making the perfect play. Mm-hmm. How important is that with this defense is not thinking too much, I guess?
See, I remember my high school coach told me, he said a great football player doesn't need to think because he already knows his alignment. That's all first nature. So now it's all about making the play. Like my high school coach told me, smart football, smart people can't play football. But you got to be smart on the field, though. But yeah.
You're a big guy, and I've read somewhere where you're talking about you like being physical. How is that part of your game? Where does that come from?
Man, it just comes from me playing football. I've been playing football since I was 4 years old, and it's a physical, violent game, and I feel like you need to be like that every day. Because I don't want to go out there and get tossed around and dragged to the ground. That's embarrassing to me. So I'd rather do it to somebody else.
Hilarious. You know, with the defense and having so many guys that have been around and played together a lot, how has that helped the transition? I mean, you've been here a few years, Quentin, you know, look at the guys in linebackers, even defensive line. There's a lot of guys that have played a lot of ball together. How has that helped this whole process?
Because, I mean, you can go out there and know someone's going to do their job, and you don't have to, like, say, if you have this responsibility, you don't have to overplay this because you know your guy's going to be there. So you could do your job and make the plays that come to you. You don't have to force anything to make a play because you know the guy right beside you is going to make that play.
Love that. All right, well, what goes into these next week? I guess next week starts game week. How exciting is that? How exciting does that sound?
It's very exciting. I'm ready for 8:31, and it's just showing the people everything that we worked on this whole off season, and showing them that we can bounce back and make a difference in Nebraska. So,
what does this defense need to continue to work on to be ready to roll?
Honestly, we just need to. I couldn't.
One day at a time.
Man, I feel like everyone just need to work on their craft. I feel like just perfecting your craft and be deliberate, you know. So deliberate practice, and I feel like you just work on your craft, study the plays, and you know, I feel like we doing a good job right now. But you know,
I got to ask you about Coach Cooper. I forgot to ask you about him. What's he been like working with him?
He's very, very enthusiastic about us. Like he's very into it. So it makes you, like, when he's excited, the things we do, it makes us excited. When he comes out there with energy, it makes us have energy. And like he's never down. Like he's always energy up, and you know, it just makes us play better because we see him on the sideline acting like he's playing, you know, and I enjoy that.
Appreciate your time, DeShon.
Appreciate you.
It is one of the big things. If you go to practice, you see really all the coaches, but Coach Cooper he is enthusiastic about his guys, and it's almost like he makes a big play. When his guys make a big play, he's running up and down the sideline and cheering them on. But I think they like playing for him.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. He's a motivator to the nth degree. Looking forward to seeing DeShon. Wish him good luck. I think he's going to make some plays for the Huskers this year. Jim in Columbus on our text line. I'm excited about the 3-3-5 defense, as everyone else is. Never seen anyone run it before, but heard that some teams have. Sounds great, but seems like there could be some guys out of position. Maybe. And again, I think you also have to remember that this first game is the first time for Satterfield and White's teams to play with this system. So there's going to be some bumps in the road. Openers always have bumps in the road. But I think the guys are excited about playing in this 3-3-5 defense, and that's half the battle, getting them excited to want to play in it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to look different it's not going to look the same every week either. I think that's how that's been built, to be able to move guys around and put guys in situations against certain offenses, and you might see different personnel, and it's not going to look the same every time, but I think it's good for matchups, and against certain offenses, they can run out different looks. And so, yeah, I'm excited about it too. And every single player that I talk to, especially some of these guys that's really what they're good at, like a Jamari Butler or Isaac Gifford, where they just fly to the football. That's what this is. I can't tell you how many times have we seen videos of Tony White, and not wanting them to think too much about being perfect about the play, but just, you know, going to make the play and going to fly to the football. And so I think it's allowing for a lot of these guys to do what they really love and kind of think less and make plays more.
Dwayne on our text line said, Harbaugh is such a whiner anyway, both he and his brother John, so let him come and hope that we can get Coach Rhule's signature win, Go Big Red. That'd be great. I would love that.
Yes.
Sign up for that, a huge win, because they'll probably be ranked 1, 2, or 3 in the polls. Jeremy in Texas says, how do y'all like the new locker room video out today? I wish it was an open floor locker room like Minnesota. I've not been in there yet. I can't wait to go over and take a look at it, but the videos were phenomenal today that Jeremy was referencing there. They look great. We were told it's going to be phenomenal when it opens up, and at least they've got that part of the building done so the players can start feeling like home over there. I
also am interested, too, to see how they line guys up in lockers. Like, is it much more kind of what they've been doing where splitting guys up and not
look that way.
Grouping players together, so your locker is next to somebody that you're not in the same position group as. It's not your typical group, and so continuing to do what we've seen them do all throughout the summer is split them up.
I need to go back and look at it because they show a lot of the names up top. I need to go look, and I did not make a note of that mentally when I saw the video the first time. So looks pretty cool. All right, 402-413-2400. Keep the text coming. That's our Sports Saturday hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've give 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, and you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. All right, when we come back, I'm going to give you part of Jessica's new podcast, a weekly podcast dealing with Husker volleyball. Her first interviewee was Kelly Hunter, the former Husker setter, now an assistant coach for John Cook. We'll have that for you next.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 7 or 17 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 7 or 17 months at your nearest FNBO location with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. So stop on by and give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
If unwanted hair is putting you in a prickly situation, give laser hair removal a try. Milan Laser Hair Removal delivers smooth, hair-free skin with permanent results for men and women of all skin tones. So there's no more unwanted stubble, razor burn, or ingrown hairs. Visit any of Milan Laser's 7 Nebraska locations to get 1 free treatment. Ready to never shave again? Call 833-NO-RAZOR or visit MilanLaser.com to book your free treatment and consultation. That's MilanLaser.com.
Only in Nebraska will you find a historic, record-breaking event like Nebraska Volleyball Day to honor women's athletics. The University of Nebraska Foundation invites you to be a part of Only in Nebraska, a campaign for our university's future. Another historic, record-breaking effort to engage 150,000 donors to build the future Nebraska needs right now. It's all possible, and it's all happening here, only in Nebraska. Give to support in you at onlyinnebraska.org.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student-athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student-athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. More than $145 million in gross revenue has been generated by startup companies founded by alumni of UNL's Angler Agribusiness Entrepreneurship Program since the program began in 2010. With over 230 Angler Program alumni growing businesses across Nebraska, the Angler Program is making a big impact on the lives of students, alumni, and Nebraskans.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastrio fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
Calling all Husker fans! Woodhouse Auto Family is thrilled to be a sponsor of Volleyball Day in Nebraska. And to share the excitement, we're giving you a chance to win tickets. As the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics, Woodhouse takes great pride in supporting the Huskers and the passionate Nebraska fan base. And we want to see you in the Sea of Red at Volleyball Day in Nebraska. To enter for a chance to win tickets to the event and learn more, visit woodhouse.com today.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here inside of our beautiful Acres Broadcast Center. You need a sweater or anything, a jacket?
Yes,
chilly in here tonight?
Freezing cold, freezing, burr.
It's hot everywhere.
Toasty,
yeah.
Yes.
Hot.
I think because we have all these windows right here and the doors are coming open all the time, it is really hot in here.
Pretty warm in here. Plus, we have a lot of servers and computers that warm up during the day as well. Well, little new addition here to the Huskers Radio Network is a weekly volleyball podcast that you're launching now.
Yes, so felt like it was needed. We had the sideline slice and thought, man, it'd be really cool if we could do a version of that for volleyball. And so we're calling it The Dig, but we're going to rotate and get some of the assistant coaches on. Lindsey Peterson, Coach Cook's staff will be rotating in throughout the weeks. And so we'll be breaking down previous games. We'll be previewing upcoming opponents and just following the storylines and getting to hear from these assistant coaches every single week. And Kelly Hunter was the first one up. So here is a portion of that conversation with her. Okay, well, let's start with the red-white scrimmage. Man, how about that? Coach Cook said by far probably the best red-white scrimmage since he's been here. What were your big takeaways?
Yeah, I think it was really competitive, and we kind of messed around with some different lineups during that week of practice right before, and that group that we had out there for the red and white, we did a scrimmage, a big day. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know. My days are all jumbled up now, but it was really competitive. We went 4 sets, and a bunch of those sets, I think 3 of them were 2-point games. And so to have that competitiveness and to be so even with the teams is really exciting because we don't always see that every year. But I think it just shows how our team is super gritty and anyone could be on the floor at any given time. And it just shows that everyone's ready.
How did you guys go about making the decision to split it pretty evenly? I mean, was it just wanting to see that competition or maybe seeing who plays well together? How do you guys go about what you want to see, I guess, in a red-white scrimmage?
Yeah, it kind of changes every year what we decide to do. Obviously, this year we have 6 new players, and so we don't really have the same faces that we've had for a long time. So in previous years, if we kind of have those same people who have been big contributors for our team, we'll try and keep them together. But this year, ever since January, we've had a beach season, a spring season, a foreign trip, and now a preseason under our belts, and everything has been so competitive, and it's so fun to see everyone play with different people next to them and kind of just see how everyone gels. And I think this year, because of that and having so many new people on our team, we wanted to see a nice little mix-up of everyone out there.
What are you watching closely I know you go back and watch film and everything, but in game, in the moment, what are you watching really closely? Are you watching the setters?
Yeah, for me, the setters are my position. Offense is kind of, I guess you could say, offensive coordinator if we're going to talk football terms, stuff like that. But it's more than just the setters. It's obviously the attackers, and are we ball controlling to put the setters in a good position. But for me specifically, during the scrimmage, I was head coaching a team, so it was watching a little bit more than just the setters and fine-tuning that a little bit, but talking to everyone equally and finding the holes in our game that we need to work on. But in game, in a normal match, it would be mostly just watching the setters, our offense and our choices, and then how the other team is defending us.
How'd you enjoy head coaching?
It was more stressful. Coach was asking me, he said, how are your stress levels? And I said, it was fine. At first, I was stressing out about the lineup sheet because John's been doing this for years and he'll still mess up the lineup sheet. So I'm like, okay, I've never done this before. I'm for sure going to mess it up. And I only messed it up one time. But other than that, it's fun to be the voice in front of the team and kind of give some insights. And for me, it's really special because I was them one day and I know how to win at a high level and stuff like that. So it was really fun to kind of help them out with the mindset piece as well, not just the volleyball technical, tactical, but just the mindset part of it. So it was fun to kind of have that different role.
So how do you think the setters did?
Pretty good. I mean, we were looking back at our stats and we didn't attack at a super high level if you look at our efficiency and our number. But when we think about our team and what Nebraska volleyball is, that's a very good block and D team. So we want to be better offensively, but it's hard when we're going against ourselves, who is typically one of the best defensive teams in the country. And so we kind of took those stats with a grain of salt, but overall I thought they worked really well with what they had and made great decisions, and we're trying to go a little bit faster and diversify our offense a little bit more. And with that being said, I think they did a great job.
So we have a competition, right? I mean, with Bergen, Riley, and Kennedy Orr. You were, I'm sure, at one point in the middle of that. What goes into competing throughout a fall or a preseason leading into maybe being that setter that this team can call upon?
As a setter specifically, it's obviously a lot of pressure. You're the quarterback out there and you touch the ball more than anyone. So with that comes a lot of stress and you feel more pressure to be good every single rep. Yeah. But you can't go into that mindset because you do touch the ball every single time and you're coming in extra for extra reps and stuff like that. So if you let yourself as a setter go to the place of nitpicking every single set, you're going to be miserable, probably not play very well, and probably be thinking internally and not externally. So just throughout the preseason, it's really important to think about, okay, what are my strengths? What do I need to work on? But how can I have that next point mentality, even though I'm competing for a spot? So you can't let one or two errors just dwindle, because then you're going to have a bunch more errors after that rather than moving through them.
So how has the competition been then between those two?
It's been good. And like I said, we've mixed up a bunch of lineups. We've seen different hitters with different setters, different combinations of people, and it's been super even. And they've both worked so hard since January. And just when you have your group here in January instead of the summer, it's crazy just because they get the time to gel with each other, to work on their game, and then they have a little bit more experience by the time we start. So I think they've both worked super hard and got a ton better since January, and they're just grinding.
This may be a silly question, but you hear a lot of times with quarterbacks, you mentioned the quarterback of the offense, and a lot of times quarterbacks develop that chemistry and relationship with a wide receiver that they feel really comfortable throwing the ball to. Is that something that happens with setters and hitters, that you feel maybe a little bit more of a connection with some other than others?
Yeah, I think that's the same as football. It's totally relevant and present in volleyball for sure. And some of our girls, even though they're just Nebraska volleyball players for the first time, a lot of them have played together in USA and just before their time here even. And so I think you can see those relationships off the court first, and then on the court you can kind of tell who's comfortable playing with who and who's going to talk a little bit more and call for the ball a little bit more, stuff like that. But I'll just use the example of Bergen and Harper. Like, they know each other like the back of their hands, and Harper could just even call the ball differently and Bergen will know exactly what to do. So that's something that comes with time, that comes with trust and communication, and we're working to get there with each setter and each of our hitters.
Yeah, fascinating. So how do you guys go about deciding who's going to be that go-to setter?
The setter position is hard because there's so much that goes into it. Obviously, we look at stats and efficiencies and who hits the best off of who and stuff like that. But even a bigger piece to it other than just the stats is who's going to be consistent out there and be a leader and be talkative, because the setter position, whether you want to be a leader or not, you kind of inherently are.
Yeah.
So there's also those connections outside of the court, connections on the court, who can be a rock for our team. And I think I used that term in a different interview and I kind of like it. But our setter has to be our rock. And so for them to build those relationships and be confident is a huge, huge piece of it too.
Well, outside of the setter, it seems like it's been a pretty competitive preseason. How has it been watching that unfold? Just not just that setter position, but every single position of this team having so much depth and talent that you're really seeing some competition and battles.
Our girls know that it's close and they can feel it and they can feel the pressure and they can feel that next person right in front of them, right behind them, whatever they think that is, they can feel all of that. And so it has just elevated the level of our competition since January. And just when we do 6-on-6 drills, it's hardly ever one team's blowing out another team, no matter what our lineups kind of look like out there, whether it's the freshmen all together and the vets all together. It's competitive no matter how we kind of stack it up. And I think that's great because then it pushes each and every one of them. And we have our standard for the athletes and the standards that they need to meet. But the fact that it's so competitive, they know that they even need to up it even more.
Where does that compare to teams in the past? I know every team is different, but when you just talk in terms of the competition and the depth and the talent, where does this team compare to maybe the teams that you've been a part of as a player and as a coach?
Yeah, I think just Nebraska always has phenomenal recruiting classes and people want to come play for us. And so we usually get pretty top level athletes and our gym's pretty competitive. But the thing that stands out to me is just the personality of these girls. And they are best friends and they love each other. And there's some days I'm like, whoa, is someone going to slit someone's throat? Like, what's going to happen here? And they've even made comments just like, oh, so-and-so makes me just want to like beat her so bad. And so I would say it's just their mentality and their mindset is so competitive and it's infectious, and you can't hide in our gym because if you hide, like someone's coming in there and coming in hard.
How good is that too? Because it's so young. I mean, it's such a young group that they already are wanting to push each other in that way.
Yeah, so we had a consultant come in, Sue Enquist came in and worked with us, and she talked about, we're supposed to say this whenever someone says we're a young or inexperienced team. So we had them all count how many years that they've played volleyball, and it came out to 137 years.
Wow.
So that's going to be our superpower this year, and I know we're young on paper and we have 6 new faces, but they have a lot of experience, and I think that is what they show every single day. It's not, okay, I'm a freshman, so I can't talk, or I shouldn't be as good because I'm a freshman, or I'm new here, or I should be good because I've been here for 3 years. It kind of levels the playing field, and then everyone feels like they're just as important as the person next to them, and that's how we try and function in our gym, is that everyone's got a role, everyone's going to contribute at some point, so you have to be competitive, and you have to be confident and ready to step up to every occasion.
How big has it been that these freshmen came in January, and how far along were they, because they already kind of had a sense of kind of a little bit, I know this is their first preseason going into their first season, but they've been here for 6 months now that they kind of have a feel already for how you guys do things around here.
Yeah, the biggest thing I always say is there's going to be adjustment in any sport, and even just students who don't play a sport. There's an adjustment to college life, and that's going to happen, and it's just a matter of how hard that hits you, because it's going to hit every single person. And so having them here in January, they already work through some of the time management stuff, being away from home, being on your own and having to make your own decisions. So they've practiced that since January and all throughout the summer, and just having that whole semester of even having college classes and choosing to go to class if you want to or not. We expect them to be in class, but they, at the end of the day, they have the choice, you know? And so just them being able to work through that through a whole spring semester where there's not as much pressure is huge, because it just bridges that gap a little bit. And then typically they would come in the summer, and then you have your summer, which is very relaxed. You take one class, you work out at 6 a.m., and you go and train by yourselves as a team because the coaches can't be there. But just having that experience in January, and then our Brazil trip as well, has just helped our team gel and helped integrate all the new people. And our veterans and our returners did a great job integrating those freshmen. And that's not always easy to do, and it can kind of be a little bit cliquey, but I would say our returners did a great job integrating those guys, and they didn't have too big of an adjustment. They're all pretty mature, and they want to be great, so they make pretty good decisions.
What's it been like breaking in Nicklin into a coaching role?
It's been fun. We call our GAs the boys, and she's like, okay, if Jalen says, boys, come here, do I have to go? I'm like, you can go if you want. There's certain things that those guys do and that Nicklin wouldn't do, and that was kind of similar to my role. But Nicklin, she's going to kind of be my little buddy, and she's going to help me out and watch the defense, kind of chart some offensive stuff and see what we're doing. And it's just so huge to have her experience because she's been through it for 5 years. For the same coach that these girls have, and then I've been through it the same way. So I think just having our expertise and our background and our knowledge is really, really big for those girls because they know that we've done the exact same thing, and it helps us relate to them too.
Greg, I think that sounds like a future head coach to me.
I agree.
She was unbelievable, and just the knowledge and breaking things down, but not giving too much away. You know, she was awesome to talk to. That was not even half of the conversation. Again, this podcast every week going to be called The Dig, which will be dropping on Mondays, and then Sideline Slice will be dropping on Tuesday. So we'll have volleyball on Monday, football on Tuesday, but The Dig, that full conversation out now on all of our podcast platforms.
Very good. Love that conversation there. We got a text come in. An awesome volleyball scrimmage. Only concern was we saw multiple point comebacks by both teams. Hey, got good players on both sides. I wouldn't put too much into that. You're kind of nitpicking at that point in time that you were worried that one team had a nice lead in the set and didn't hang on to it. To me, that's a little bit of nitpicking, but hey, that's all right. I think the people got their money's worth on Saturday night. Really highly entertaining 4-set match between the red and the white. Hey, if problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. Got a thought or two? Our text line's open for you, 402-413-2400. We're back with more of the show next.
Our planet, it's hungry. Blessed with millions of acres in this great nation, our farmers work tirelessly to feed the planet through seasons of uncertainty and seasons of growth. It's a tough business to do alone. As owners of Central Valley Ag, it's together that we move forward. There's room at the table. Find your seat at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 7 or 17 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 7 or 17 months at your nearest FNBO location with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. So stop on by and give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
There's a new kind of season ticket when you fly from the Lincoln Airport, the official airport of the Huskers. Now at LNK, choose from fast, affordable, non-stop flights to your favorite vacation spots. All from an airport that's relaxed and hassle-free. It's never been easier to get off the bench and enjoy an adventure with the whole family. Visit GoFlyLNK.com and book your trip today. Let's go.
Meet water's bubblier and more energetic best friend, Bubbler Antioxidant Sparkling Water. With tons of flavors, there's one for every occasion. Interviewing for your dream job, hitting the beach, or going on an epic road trip? Pop the top on your favorite Bubbler flavor and awesome antioxidants swoop in to balance your body and focus your mind. Right before a boost of natural caffeine shows up to save your day. There's a benefit in every bubble and a happier you just waiting to rise up. Find out more at Drink Bubbler on Instagram.
Do you need to relocate to a different city or state but don't know where to start? If so, put the power of BHA Real Estate to work for you. BHA will set you up with the best real estate agent in your new town. Have a house to sell first? No problem. They can assist you with that as well. With over 70 years of experience, BHA has a network to ensure one of the biggest transactions in life will be handled with care that you deserve and the service that you can trust. Give BHA Real Estate a call today for all your relocation needs. 308-324-5581.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Beardmore Subaru celebrates Nebraska volleyball again this season. 5 national championships, 47 All-Americans, and a home sellout streak dating back to 2001. The longest streak for any women's sport in NCAA history. Beardmore Subaru has been a proud supporter of Husker volleyball for more than 10 years. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the new Subaru Outback Wilderness, loaded with off-road ready upgrades, and the new Solterra, Subaru's first ever all-electric and all-wheel drive vehicle. Go Big Red.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody, and the birthday boy, Cole Hartman, with you here on a Monday night. Cole told me today he is thinking about going the Andrew Dowdy way and investing in a scooter.
Wow.
Come to work on.
Well, I know Andrew loved it when he did it, but I can't tell you how many times I had to give that boy a ride home when he was too much of a weenie to ride it back home.
There are a couple months of the year.
Cold or windy.
There's a couple months of the year you don't really want to be on it.
No.
But there's a lot of times of the year that it's pretty convenient to zip up and along sidewalks and get around people.
Yes. I totally forgot driving in today that the students are back,
They're
and
back.
it makes for a challenge to park or get around here.
You got to weave through them on some of the stop
Sometimes
signs and stuff.
they don't mind the signs, the crosswalks.
No, they just go. You're like, wait.
I got behind a bike that wouldn't scoot over today on the road. I'm like, could you just scooch over a little bit so you don't back up? But boy, they're just in their own world, some of them.
So, Cole, if you get this aforementioned scooter, will you get a helmet to wear? because I could never get Andrew to buy a helmet.
He's too worried about his hair.
My lawyer said not to answer that. I can't answer that.
We had a couple people that were willing to donate to his helmet fund. Maybe we can just transfer that fund over to you.
Yeah, because Andrew left town without getting the helmet. So
Cole seems to be a little bit concerned about his hairdo, though, so I don't know. He might not be bothered.
Probably. Andrew was very particular about his do.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he really was.
He was.
Folks, time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Next segment, winners from the weekend, our weekend winners segment. I am ready for this tonight. Looking forward to that. Andy in Phoenix thinks it ought to be Victor Hovland, who went off yesterday to win the BMW championship in Chicago. He's not mine. He did play amazing.
Listen to this, though. He had he finished 61 course record. He had 10 birdies, 7 on the back 9.
10 birdies.
7 on the back 9.
Wow. That's shooting
He's on
lights
fire. And apparently Rory is now talking a little mess leading into the Ryder Cup. Said, looking forward to him being on my team. I love the Ryder Cup. It's one of my favorite sporting events. I want to go. That's on my bucket list to go see in person.
I know. It would be cool. It was up in Minnesota a few years ago. I know some people down here went. So, yeah, cool stuff. So, yeah, the Ryder Cup's in about a month. It's in Italy, I want to say, is where that's being contested. So it's on European soil next month.
You sound like my parents. That's how they...
Soil.
Soul.
Soul. All right, back to wrap it up next.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastrio fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
Allergy season is officially here. Your home should be a place where you can escape dust, pollen, and other allergens, but every time you enter your home, you bring them inside. John Henry's offers numerous products to remove allergens and germs from your home. Call John Henry's today to learn more about our indoor air quality products to breathe easier in your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
There's a new kind of season ticket when you fly from the Lincoln Airport, the official airport of the Huskers. Now at LNK, choose from fast, affordable, non-stop flights to your favorite vacation spots. All from an airport that's relaxed and hassle-free. It's never been easier to get off the bench and enjoy an adventure with the whole family. Visit GoFlyLNK.com and book your trip today. Let's go.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The thoughtfully redesigned 2023 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance, more than Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. The 2023 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of June 2022. Duteau Subaru in Lincoln and DuteauSubaru.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned that you can always find what you were looking for with Woodhouse. Final few minutes of our Monday night show. We always reserve that for our weekend winners, and we have to let the birthday boy go first. So, birthday boy Cole, what do you have?
My winner, and I don't know if you guys had this on your radar, the 2023 Track and Field World Championships were held in Budapest, and Sha'Carri Richardson from Dallas earned the fastest woman in the world title, 10.65, and she beat the record by 200th of a second.
It was a terrific race. I've seen video of the race. It was phenomenal. I think we have a couple of Husker throwers that are going to be competing in those worlds over there.
Yeah, the national champions, the Johansson and Oktebor.
Yeah, both are going to be competing in that track meet over in Europe. Good poll, Cole. You did some research on that one.
I was proud of that one.
All right, go enjoy your chicken Alfredo. Jessica.
I am going to go with Keisei Tominaga. You noticed on, I think it was Saturday, they put out a video of him pulling up and knocking down a three right in the eye of Luka Doncic. But right as I was looking up, he's had 20 back-to-back 20-point games in 20 minutes. He's hit 10 threes. But right as I was researching what his stats were, Olympics.com wrote an article about him, and they said they were kind of had this lead. The media following the headlines, fans in Tominaga shirts, the cheers from the crowd, and of course the performances. We are witnessing the birth of a bona fide star who could potentially generate major buzz at the FIBA World Cup 2023 for the co-host. So Japan, a co-host for the World Cup, and that kicks off, I believe, in this weekend. On Friday is Japan's first game.
That little guy can shoot it. He just plays with such passion. I love it.
Yeah, and it's cool for him to get to represent his home country, and he's a star. He's an absolute star in Japan. He's becoming a star over here too, obviously, with what he did last year. But his game continues to grow, and the fact that you're seeing him compete against guys like Luka and do what he does, I think continues to show that he does maybe have a potential in the NBA. And if you shoot it like that, it's hard for teams at any level to keep you off the court.
Great stuff. Nice little segue. Men's basketball season tickets went on sale today. So if you're thinking about Husker basketball season tickets, they went on sale today. You can get more information at huskers.com/tickets or call the ticket office during normal business hours. I had a plethora of weekend winners to throw out there. Congrats to Spain. They won the Women's World Cup, their first Women's World Cup championship. So congrats to them. Congrats to Husker Soccer. 2-1 winner yesterday over Beta. They're now 1-0-1. Played in that heat yesterday. It took a couple of water breaks, thank goodness, but nobody scored in the second half. All the scoring came in the first half, and congratulations to them. Congratulations to Trey Palmer. Another exhibition game, another touchdown. He tipped it to himself. Really impressive.
He's making all kinds of noise.
He sure is. But my winner is Novak Djokovic. He and Carlos Alcaraz, who played in the Wimbledon final a month ago, played in the final in Cincinnati over the weekend. It was epic. Some people, and I only saw highlights with some people who love tennis, say it might have been the best tennis match they ever saw. Djokovic won it in 3 sets. So Novak Djokovic is my winner. People in the chat room, Crypto wants to know how old Cole is. Remarkably, he's 53. Would you have guessed that? I mean, he doesn't sound like he's 53.
He kind of has an old soul, though.
He does have an old soul.
I don't know if it's 53 years old, but he's a little bit of an older soul. Wouldn't you say, Cole?
Yes, I would say so.
That you're 53 or that you're an old soul?
Both. They're not mutually exclusive.
Tim in Minnesota also wants to wish you a happy birthday on our text line as well. Tomorrow night, the head football coach here for Hour 1, our first football show of the year. Again, it's moving to Tuesday nights this year, so get those texts ready for the coach. We'll be firing a lot at him in the 60 minutes that we have him here tomorrow. We'll have to talk about the new locker room opening up with him. And I just want more stories from him from the dorms. I think that would be great to hear some more dorm stories from Selleck Hall from earlier in the week. Thanks to the birthday boy, to Jessica, to all of you. Have yourself a great night. We're back here again tomorrow. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200.